y'all. Welcome to TNT because we drop the bombs where we keep it real, raw, and unfiltered about the world of caregiving.
That's right. We are two seasoned caregivers from the same neighborhood, working in two different fields, private care and facility care.
I'm Natasha, a certified medical assistant, and I'm working in the private caregiving sector.
And I am Tasha, a certified nursing assistant working in a facility.
We're here to share the experiences, drop you some knowledge, sprinkle you with some golden nuggets, and you may be spilling a little bit of tea on what really goes down in the caregiving world.
So, whether you're thinking about being a caregiver, if you are a caregiver, or just curious on what we do, this is the place for you.
So, grab you something to sip on, honey, or get you a little nosh, a little something to, nibble on while we drop some of these little tidbits and sprinkle
Hey.
you with some golden nuggets. Yeah.
Hey.
How you doing, Tasha? How was your day? I know you worked today.
I am doing good, Tashi. It's snowing where I am, so just trying to get through the snow was different because I'm from, but being in Charleston, we don't get this type of weather. So, but snow has fallen upon the city.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But just getting through or getting used to the snow
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
is definitely something new for me.
I understand.
How was your day?
It was good. I started out this morning with church service, and church was good. Let
Mm-hmm.
me tell you something. Pastor Shaw for Fellowship Chicago is a hot mess
Oh,
in a good way. In a good way. Service was lit this morning. The 8 o'clock
okay.
service, it was literally lit.
Okay, girl.
I had me a good time at church. But I feel like I didn't even know I could have this much church at home. Wait a minute.
Let me get some pimping in it.
Girl, what you say, what you say. But I had a good morning. I must say, church, like I said, church was good. So I had to clean up.
Okay.
You said on Sunday, kind of get ready to
I know.
start the week over. So I got
I
those
know.
things done and then prepared myself to sit down and chitty chat with you a little bit. But yeah, that was my.
Hey.
But tonight's topic is we're going to be mindful in our surroundings.
Okay.
Caregiving post-election
My,
climate.
my.
Okay. Now, normally we don't usually read a Bible verse or not that
Mm-hmm.
we don't believe in God or anything like that, but sometimes we just want to let go, let down our hair a little bit, and
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be blasphemous in our
Right,
verbiage.
right.
But this particular topic brought forth a Bible verse for me.
Okay.
And the Bible verse is Ephesians 6 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to put on the full armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
My, my. Let me interject with you.
Come on.
The two things I do not talk about at work, never have spoken about at work:
Hmm.
religion, politics.
Hmm.
But let me tell you something. This election here has caused me to interject, intercede, and proceed that one, I am a child of God, and two, I know my rights as an American.
Hmm. Hmm.
And sometimes you have to agree to disagree. But the one thing my mama has always told me: never argue with a fool. I can't argue with you
No.
because what you believe is right, what I believe is right. But what I'm not going to do is argue with you.
Right. Right. Because two things can be true. You feel how you feel, and I feel how I feel.
That's right. No right or wrong.
Right. It is what it is. Until you
Hmm.
start to see how you truly feel, it's not beneficial to you.
You better say it, girl. You
And
better
then
say it.
and then for me, it's like I have to go study my biblical class. Like,
Hmm. Yeah. I always look, I'm at work and I always tell them, and they laugh at me for it. I just want to do two things: eat my ice and love Jesus.
come on, eat my ice. I love it. I
I
love
just
it.
want to eat my ice and
Ice.
love Jesus. I didn't, and look, and what's so crazy, I got people on the job saying, what you want to do, Tasha? Mind my business and love Jesus? Oh, and eat my ice.
Because
That's all I want to do.
it's gonna take
Hmm.
the place of drinking my
They got the
water.
hospital ice. Yeah, they got the hospital ice.
You can't get no better in the hospital or Chick-fil-A ice,
Yeah,
honey.
they got the hospital ice. So yeah,
You can't.
that's what I like.
You cannot get any better than that. Cannot. But in
Yeah,
reference,
yeah.
it says to understanding emotional sensitivity,
Okay.
safety and security awareness, and
Mm-hmm.
personal boundaries and respect.
Mm-hmm.
What say
Mm-hmm.
you?
What say me?
Mm,
Well, before you and I started doing this, I had did a TikTok about understanding and being aware of your surroundings.
mhm,
Um, being at the fact that I am definitely the minority in the majority, I have to be mindful of my surroundings. Um, our current president and his cronies have made racism and prejudice so um, so forthcoming, so so nonchalantly that I have to be aware.
mhm,
You know, I know that if the vibe is not clear for me to open the door, I don't open the door.
mhm,
Period.
mhm,
Now, I'm not going to say that I have met some wonderful, and I have met some wonderful people of all backgrounds up here.
mhm,
So I know that when I go with them, I am safe. And I'll be honest with you, I have met one or two people up here that are Trump supporters. But guess what? You would never know it. They do not show any type of indifference towards me
mhm,
and vice versa.
mhm,
We just know that we don't talk about politics,
mhm,
but we can talk about everything else.
mhm,
Because I just know my ancestors had to do for me to even get here.
mhm,
I
mhm,
don't I don't step on nobody's toes because I don't
mhm,
want you to step on mine. So so for me, that's my mindfulness. That's my professionalism. When people talk about being woke and all these wokeness, I'm like, what are you even talking about? Because to me, wokeness is and even your background, your educational background, your religious background, even your ethnic background. For a lot of women, if it wasn't for other women being told no, they wouldn't be there. So I don't even understand what are you even talking about. Woke.
mhm,
Somebody took it and used the word or the verbiage differently.
mhm,
And What about you? Because you work in the private sector. Oh, my mind.
And it's not easy. Because in the private sector, you do have a tendency to talk about any and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I entertain or I engage maybe in areas that I shouldn't. However, I don't take it to heart. Um,
Uh-huh.
I take into consideration of the person that I'm caring for. I take into
Mm-hmm.
consideration of their background, how they grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get to know all those stories,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the home. So I get to see the pictures on the wall and I can ask questions. And I get to meet different family members and I can ask questions. So for me,
Right.
it is quite different. The thing for me, I have a few of them too who support him and I wouldn't know that unless they act in a certain manner. And there'll be some conversations that come about that I hear and act like I don't hear. And
Right.
until you recognize how it directly affects you, right?
Right.
You're that's when FAFO will kick in. But bro, for right now, hey, I
Hey, you know,
I drink my water and I mind my business. I
and
don't
love
really,
Jesus.
and I love the Lord. I got a new Bible and all, and that Bible makes you want to read it. So I don't stress myself. Now, right after the election, I was tore up. I was stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
However, I spoke to one of the pastors of my
Mm-hmm.
sister churches, and I was like, listen, I don't want to hear we're gonna just trust the Lord. Like I need something else a tad bit more concrete.
A little
To
concrete.
say that I am not trusting in Him and that I don't believe in. However, my humanistic side has taken over,
Mm-hmm.
and it has kind of pushed my faith to the left a little. So I need something that is a tad bit more concrete
Mm-hmm.
that is going to help draw me up out of where I am. And the pastor did. She gave me it's in the book of Judges. And before we get off of here, I'm gonna look the verse up so I can make sure I tell y'all the correct verse.
Okay.
The verse. But it's in the book of Judges and it talks about a king and about how he takes care of his people regardless of the tyranny that's taking
Mm-hmm.
place. And with that made my spirit feel better.
It calms your spirit.
It just calmed my spirit right on down and the anxiety doesn't kick in anymore. There'll be certain things that, 47 will say and sometimes I want to take it to heart, but let me tell you how God has shielded me. He's like, eh, eh. You don't have time. You got work to do. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't do the work
We
that I
got
have
work to do.
to do,
Yeah.
you see all the foolishness that he spits out.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. And I agree.
I just had to build up
Um,
and learn how to deal with
my favorite Bible scripture is in Exodus.
it.
And it's Exodus 14:14. And it
Hmm.
says, stand still and I will fight for you.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, um, first. So I don't know if you know, because sometimes some things we don't discuss off air, you know, and it's not to throw shade at either one of us. We both live full lives, but when I'm not working, so
Hmm.
I do luncheons, mother
Hmm.
daughter luncheons, and so this particular year I had to speak, and I'm not going to lie to you, I had nerves begging God, pleading with God, literally tears rolling down my eyes, snot coming out my nose, the little white things in the crust in the center of my mouth. God, cancel it. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And he told me to open up my Bible and just start praying. And when we're going through things, we don't even know what to pray. And for God to say, open up my Bible, and I'm already emotional and I'm already having these type of feelings, and I know he did not give us the. But guess what? When you're going through, you don't remember those things.
No, you don't.
And so, anywho, fast forwarding, and I came upon Exodus because we always run the Psalms, we always run to Proverbs, the normal, I won't say the normal, but the definitely go-to verses. And God sent me to Exodus. Exodus was the beginning. And 14:14 was like, stand still and I'll fight for you. So I'm saying that in retrospect, as the world is, because we are in a turmoil, we are in a storm. God has told me, stand still and I'm going to fight for you. Thing that's going on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. I got them. Don't even stress yourself. Don't even stress yourself. I got them.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, God. Okay, God. And I'm like you. Your flesh overtakes you. And panic sets in. And I'll be honest with you, being where I am, panic sets in for me. I'm human. But when they say, lean not to your own understanding, you better lean. You better lean.
And as I get older, that verse becomes so much more prevalent in my life. As I get older, I, I cannot lean to my own understanding because my mind will run wild. It will take me places, and I'm like, girl, where did you go? How did you get all the way over there? We weren't even over there. Right. So I can't.
Yeah. I can't do it.
I can't
Won't
do
do
it.
it.
Thank you, Lord,
Won't do it.
thank you for the comfort. Thank you for the comfort.
Yeah.
So it
I got to
said,
be blessed going and coming out.
okay, going in and coming out. That's why we got to cover our, prior to going in and when we're leaving. You got to cover yourself. So how do you respond, or have you had to respond to any racial discriminatory from any of your relatives? Because they're
I
all
don't get none of it. I have not received any type of racial discrimination or any type of racial conflict with any of my coworkers, but a resident I have.
yeah. I think it was
It was not pretty.
right.
It was not pretty. Words and harsh words were exchanged. And I had to let this person know my ancestors don't play about me. Period. And in that order. My ancestors don't play about me. I am my ancestors' wildest dream. That's how sometimes you got to hit people back of any denomination, of any backgrounds. My ancestors don't play about me. I am their wildest dream. I am what they hoped for, what they prayed for. Hey, I'm just telling you what my ancestors tell me.
I have to remind some people I'm not my great grandmother. I'm not her.
I'm not.
And she is not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. And I'm not
And
sorry.
and you know what, Tasha, and I'm glad you said that. Because no, all jokes aside, when you think about it, Think about our grandmothers. And I have one that's still living, one that's passed, but think about their grandmothers and their grandmothers. Like,
Mhm.
just imagine what they had to endure. I can't. I can't. I can't imagine. Because of my lineage of my grandmother is 4 in May. I can't imagine 94 years ago. So if I can't imagine what she went through
Okay.
90 years ago, just imagine what her mama went through. I
Mhm.
can't imagine it.
Right.
That's why I said, you know what? I am their wildest dreams.
Mhm. If they can only imagine, I am
If
it.
they can only imagine,
I am what you imagine. I,
and then some,
that's
and then
all.
some.
And a little bit more. No, man, a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit more. You know, when it comes to it says here that responding to racially discriminatory rhetoric as a caregiver, it requires a delicate balance of professionalism, empathy, and assertiveness. And it gives here are a few potential responses to help maintain a respectful environment. Number one, you want to hear this? It says redirect with empathy and focus on the kid.
That means bite your tongue. Okay, I
For
got
those
you. I got
who
you on that one.
didn't understand, that's exactly what Tasha just said. That's exactly what it. That's exactly what it means. And basically to reverbalize in a different manner.
Mhm.
An example could be, I understand that you feel strongly about this. However, let's focus on making sure you're comfortable and well cared for right now.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think, and I've been told this. I really have been. I'm too assertive. I am. I'm too assertive. And you know what, Tasha? And I think it comes from being from Charleston and knowing our culture, knowing our background. I'm just so, you know what, Tasha? I'm going to tell you right now, as God is my sacred judge, everybody, when I walk into facilities, when I walk in, I walk like I own that building. I have had people to think that I was their relieving nurse, like I'm the RN. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Nope,
So
I'm
that's how
not.
we, yeah, that's how we walk in. That's our confidence. That's the assertiveness that God has blessed us with. That's how we show up. That's
That's
just
how we
how,
show up.
and it's natural. It just rolls off of our back. It's not something that we have to put extra work into.
Tasha, do you realize that today at work we had two RN supervisors, and they were and the aides were coming to me like I'm the supervisor. Now, what you want me to do? What you need me to do? You good? I got it. But this, don't forget to do this. Like, and then I had to tell somebody a couple of days ago, a visiting aide that came in, and I took her by the shoulder and I said, "Look, I am not management material, but this is what I need you to do, and let's do this right now." And she looked at me like, "Who is this black girl?"
Mm.
But guess what? Okay, now don't play with me. But I get it. Sometimes when handling care with residents, we have to learn to bite our tongue and grin and bear it.
It's not for me. So it's not so much as biting your tongue. Sometimes you just have to be a chameleon. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chameleon, and not only that, there are times when every time somebody says something to you, it does not require a response.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Every action does not deserve a reaction.
does it. You sometimes you have to figure out how to save yourself, how to keep your peace. In the words of Pastor Sharp this morning, he said how to party all night long. You know, that was
All night
that
long.
was the title. That was the title of her sermon today. He was like, "You got to learn how to have joy
Mm-hmm.
all day and night long." And if that means that you have to build this wall around you and not allow certain people and certain actions and certain verbiage in your space, do just that. You know, for me, I am rebuilding my life again. Okay. So I am more focused now. I am more focused.
Mm-hmm.
I am more in tune with myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I am no longer afraid to say no. And no is
And
a
not yeah.
no.
Yeah. You know what? I could remember a sermon maybe from 8 years ago.
Mhm.
And the pastor said sometimes you have to pull a plant up by the roots and give it no more air. Do you know it took me 8 years, if not longer, to understand what that meant? Let me just pull us up from the roots to no longer give it air.
I will no longer be watering this foolishness.
No longer. No
I will.
longer. And I agree with you. I agree with you.
I'm just not gonna do. I've just reached that point in my life where I'm just not gonna do that anymore.
Mhm. Yep.
But number two, it says set a gentle but firm boundary. Example. I respect your right to have your views, but I'd appreciate it if we could keep our conversations focused on topics that keep things positive and comfortable for everyone. It says this approach communicates respect, but also gently sets a limit on inappropriate discussion.
Pull it up by the root. We ain't gonna
Yeah,
water this conversation.
I had a client, she was determined that she was going to have
Hey,
this
Crash.
conversation. You know, no matter how much I tried to deter, deflect, not engage, do other things to keep us from having, but she was bound and determined. So I said to her, seeing as how you are not going to allow this to just play itself out or to leave it alone, and
Hmm.
you have to say the things that you need to say.
Get it
Say,
off your chest.
please just say, as I was holding her laundry and she's on her phone, I said, just say them, please, so that we cannot have this
Hmm.
elephant in the room. And one of her statement was, Miss Hansel, we don't have to worry because God has his hands on him. I could have taken that one or two ways. I could have been like upset in that, or I could have been feeling glad about it. I
Hmm.
decided to go with the latter. I'm going to feel good about it because two things can be true. God could have his hand on it. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't know that. We know this. We know that if California ain't burning down, they got mudslides all over the place. We know that he has so claimed to have gotten rid of DEI. We know that there are racist people in America. There are. There's, and we know that there's nothing,
Yeah.
you know, um, there's a whole lot of things that's going on. We got planes falling out the sky, and they're falling out, okay? Because he has cleared out the FAA commissioner's office. So we have planes falling out the sky, all right? Um, the weather is just all over the place. And nobody has control over Mother Nature but God. Okay?
Nobody.
But the weather is all over the place. So when she says that God has his hands on him, and then for Bishop Buddy to come out and say to him, specifically, she talks to him and said that there are people who are afraid for their own lives and their livelihood and for their family, and that the people of America are counting on you to do right by
Right.
you. All these farmers that are coming out now, these farmers, because these farmers, we fine. But these ones, they're complaining. God could have his hand on. Who are we to say?
Right.
Who are we to say? I chose to look at that as a positive thing and say, yes, God, you do have your hands on him. And only you can make him do right by us.
Yep.
Regardless of all this other fighting and cussing and carrying on and the marching and the 92% that say, we ain't doing nothing. God could have his hand on. And that's why we 92%ers and the 80% black men, we can sit down and sit back and just watch the foolishness. We can sit back and sip our water and mind our
Hello.
business.
I love Jesus.
Tell the Lord,
Thank you.
no, no. Have you had any instances where you've had a disrespectful environment, whether it be an employee, a co-worker, or a resident?
Um, mine, like I said, mine has come in the form of that one resident. I no, no, I lie. I lie. I was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire last year,
Mm-hmm.
and me and one of the staff girls got into it. Now, I'll be very honest with you. I knew I was going to be fired. And, no, the truth is the truth. I knew she didn't like me. I didn't care. I knew she didn't like me. She followed me into a situation, because part of my job is as a caregiver, if a family member asks me something, I'm going to go do it. So she followed me into the kitchen, called herself trying to berate me and belittle me. And I told her in her face, get out my face. This is not going to turn good.
Mm-hmm.
She thought she was going to have the last word and she walked out. I said, hold on, sweetheart. I got you. Give me 1 second. Honey, I followed that girl into the dining room. And let me tell you something. I read her for Phil. I read her for Phil. And I meant every word that came out of my black mouth. When I say I meant every word, I meant every syllable that came out of my mouth. I wanted to destroy her humanity. And that's exactly what I did.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
at that point, guess what? At that point there, I knew I was fired. You weren't gonna
Yeah,
say what you say to me and then think that you was gonna walk away. Honey. Tell you when I was finished with that girl, let me tell you, the nurses told me to be quiet, calm down. The residents told me to calm down. The other aides told me to calm down. The family members told I read her for filth. And you know what I told her? I said, I want my name to taste like shit in your mouth. I said, I want it to taste so bad that you'll be afraid for your great grandson to even date a girl named Tasha.
I am so done. I am just so done with you.
I read it for
You,
Phil. And then you know what I also told her too? I say, honey, you in a foreign land just like me. You are in a country that don't want you.
you,
I said, I was born and raised here, and I am not wanted in this country. You came here on a visa.
and they don't want you.
I said, they don't want you. I said, you know why you here? It ain't because you black. And I'm a black girl. allowed you to slip and slide and be condescending to them. I said, but guess what? Ain't no more roller skates where I live at. I said, so with me, you fitting to fall with that guy in that fight in Manila. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Honey, by the time I left out of there smiling, I already knew, look, I already knew I was fired.
Yeah,
I knew I was fired. I knew I was fired. I was.
yeah.
I was.
Knowing is half the
Honey,
battle.
I got back to me. Yeah. I knew I was fired. When the next morning came, my recruiter called me. I started laughing because I done cussed him out.
Oh my God. How she can't take everybody out, right? I was
Honey,
just
when I told,
I was working.
I read that girl for filth. Honey, I had her shaking them down. Oh, you was big and bad in that kitchen, but you got no sympathy. You got no strength now, huh? You weak in the knees. I said, don't play with me. I know what I told that girl. I said, don't. I said, try Jesus, because I definitely lay hands. I said, try Jesus, because I lay hands.
She
Are
just
you
like,
threatening me? I said, she said, are you threatening me? Ready to cry, because now she's ready to be the victim. I said,
yeah,
take it how you want to take it.
however you receive this.
I said, however you receive the word, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
anywho, I digress. I think we are over our 30. I
Well,
think
once
we over our
again, it's a good talking to you, honey, because I swear the,
30.
the balls we have
Oh, I'm so sorry.
played, boom, 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 boom.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. Listen, things
Please be
happen.
patient with me. Jesus still working on me.
Things just be happening, honey. And sometimes we just have to go with the flow of things. We could try to change it up all we want, but sometimes we just have to go with the flow.
Oh,
That's all we can do. But I appreciate
yeah.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to hit subscribe, click like, click share, tell all your family and your friends that we are here. If
Please
you know
do.
someone, you're in the Charleston area, at least in the Tri-County Charleston area, and you need someone to come in and help with your grandma, your grandpa, your cousin, your disabled child. This happens. I
Boom.
am here. Tasha is not here. She's out of state. But if you are where Tasha is and you're trying to get her up out that facility because she is a great caregiver and you're looking for some private care, holla at your girl. Holla at
All
your
that at you. All that
that's
at you.
right. Holla at
All that at you.
Well, once again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to TnT, where we drop the bombs about caregiving, honey.
You
Is
dropped
what
the bomb on me, baby.
we drop
We
the
need that sound effect.
I'm gonna have to find a sound effect for us because we dropped the
Yeah.
bomb around here. Now y'all
Yeah.
y'all be safe out there. You be safe out there in that weather because I know it's snowing out there again where you are. No, we talking.
Yes, it started snowing last night, and it
Hmm.
doesn't end until tomorrow.
Oh,
And then we get some more snow like at later of the week. You know what I told my aunt today? Because I sent her a picture of the snow. I said, believe it or not, that's the snow from Thanksgiving.
oh,
The snow never melted. It doesn't get that hot. The sun comes out and it's beautiful, but it doesn't get that hot for it to melt the snow. So that's the snow from Thanksgiving, Christmas
oh,
Day, and
oh.
whenever.
Mm, mm, mm. Girly, 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 girl. Well, you be safe and stay warm and put on a lot of thermal. And don't forget your Vaseline because we got to keep the moisture in our skin.
Oh, yeah.
Keep the melanating. You know. So, everybody, y'all have a good evening. Have a good night. Thank you all for tuning in, Pasha. See you on the flip side, my baby.
We on the flip side.
Y'all have a good night.
Peace.
Toodaloo.